Hello and welcome to this episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by Alex and Steven.
What's up, guys?
And today I'm so excited because we are talking about the fantastic theme of Castle.
Huzzah!
Cheers! 3 cheers for Castle! So,
Best theme ever.
Take that, pirates.
Easy.
Hey, arguably one of the best LEGO themes ever. One of the earliest LEGO themes as well, especially considering the system, qualities of minifigures and all that. So we're going to be breaking out our top 6 favorite castle sets, kind of going from maybe the most small but still meaningful to the grandest at the end. We're saving the best for last in our list. However,
our favorites at the end, yeah.
We were saying this before we started filming. Basically, all the castle sets throughout all the years have at least something very cool about them. I mean, they've been knocking it out of the park as long as they've been around. For the most part, there's a little bit of a dark age.
Stinkers, yeah.
A little dark age after the late 2000s, and
I
then
might be addressing a little bit with one of mine.
So, we can talk about that as we get into it. But
No Nexo Knights today.
No Nexo
Knights.
Oh,
get out of here, Grumpy Jay.
They've been banished to the Shadow Realm, exactly. But before we get started into our sets, just really quickly, what's your first experience with LEGO Castle that you can remember? When was it when you started enjoying Castle to the extent that we are now? Let's start with Alex.
That's a great question. I didn't have much Castle growing up. I think my first Castle set was a Knight's Kingdom from the 3rd generation. I think we found it at Walmart on clearance when I was young. It was like $15 for originally $60, $80 set.
Fantastic deal, yeah.
And so that was my first experience with Castle. Each of those knights with the different colors I thought were the coolest. And just their story in the LEGO magazines and everything. But later, growing up, I got like a big bulk, and it had a lot of the old Castle, like the Dragon Knights. Kind of introduced me to the different factions outside of Knight's Kingdom. And I think it's just grown from there, especially as an adult now, as they're doing more Castle towards adults. I've really enjoyed the newer stuff as well.
Exactly.
So
They've really gotten
really expanded.
High quality, adults welcome-esque sets with Castle these days, which I'm not complaining, even though my bank account is groaning. So.
Exactly.
But Steve, do you remember your first Castle experience?
Yes, I do. It's one of the first sets I remember buying. There's like 3 first sets I have. I don't exactly know which one came first, but one of them was a Knight's Kingdom 1 set with King Leo and Sir Richard. So a lot of people remember King Leo. He's kind of like, it's a name that comes up in the Castle genre, if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had this tiny little set. It was essentially a poly bag, but it was a little cardboard thing. Little tower, 3 1x2 bricks on top of this little tower prefab part. Leo on a horse with a chrome sword, which was epic. And Sir Richard with a large bearded halberd, the large dark gray axe weapon. Yeah, really cool weapons. It was essentially a little parts pack. And I remember getting it off the shelf and just adoring that tiny little set. The next highlight was Knight's Kingdom 2, obviously. It was around the same time. We're similar in age. Yeah, that works out. We got at a thrift store the
Castle of Morcia?
Castle of Morcia, whatever, for like $5.
Oh, literally.
And it was all there except for one catapult. That's it. All the figures, everything in great condition. And we built it a lot, but it was also like kind of clunky of a set. Like it's all slopes essentially. So it was fun. It was cool. Some people really love it. I thought it was pretty good.
It's nostalgic.
But it was very nostalgic. Definitely spurred our whole thing into Knight's Kingdom, and we definitely took off from there. Bought all the characters and stuff, and that's the early parts of it. And there's much later.
So a pretty early introduction for Steven, but also Alex, you weren't unaware of it as a kid because you had some from deals that you were able to get at Walmart.
That's true. I had it, but yeah, I remember, especially I think after 2012, there just wasn't much Castle at that point.
That's
which
very
is really
true.
Sad.
There was a little gap there for a couple years afterwards. It's finally come back stronger than ever, so we're grateful for that. My first Castle experience, similar to Steven, smaller sets, but also I remember we got the reissue of the Guarded Inn.
I remember. I saved that for you.
A really special set. I'll talk more about that later, but growing up with that
we also
set,
got the Falcon's Fortress, right?
And the Falcon's Fortress.
Yeah, we got them both.
Great
which was...
From Toys R Us, I believe, with their black and white boxes.
Yep.
So super cool, and so when we saw them, we're like, "Oh, these are really old sets, but they're at Toys R Us. This is awesome." I wish LEGO would do that more often. Anyway, but yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and get started with our list of top 6
Take it away.
Castle sets. Now, most of the time on Between the Studs, I'm the guy with the weird picks because I try to make sure that the people who are here with me get first dibs on their favorite sets from that given theme. Because I'm usually bringing them because they're the experts on it, right? But in this case, I feel like I'm one of the more knowledgeable castle people here, and I wanted to get first dibs, so I said, "You guys
knowledgeable." Wait a minute.
I'm saying I'm
All right,
also,
have a joust and we'll
joust. Settle this
not
with
to
a
say
joust.
that I'm more knowledgeable than you guys. I'm just saying I'm one of the castle experts.
Oh yeah,
with
we're
you
one
guys
of the
here.
group. Expert.
So
yeah,
like it
right.
wasn't me asking about Ninjago or
Or
asking
Bionicle,
about
yeah.
Bionicle. It's this is like one of my favorite themes.
This is
so
that makes sense.
Unlike previous themes, I'm picking first, and you guys got whatever was left. However, there's so many great
So did
sets.
call dibs, yeah.
So I'll go ahead and get started, and this is the most humble of my sets that I've picked, but it's very meaningful to me for a couple reasons. I'll break it up. But this is 6039 Twin Arm Launcher. Came out in 1988, and it was a pretty small, reasonable price set. I think it was probably in the $15 range back then, maybe less. It has a little black catapult with some great pieces, little wheels, those little wagon wheels in black or fun. I think black or brown. I'll double check the picture, but it has two catapult launchers on one base, so it's very useful. It works great. It has a great play feature. Those little scoop pieces are actually, I think, from a little like a digger machine, but they actually work great.
Yeah,
excavator scoops, but they work great for launching projectiles. It comes with two figures, two kind of Crusader Lion Knights, very similar to what you'll see in the modern era, but the originals, right, with the dark gray helmets and stuff. There's a couple accessories in this set that make it more special than it should be, because the figures are pretty plain, but there is a round buckler shield in dark gray, and that actually is a relatively rare shield even among rare old castle accessories. So seeing that in there, it's only in like a couple other sets, and so it's pretty neat to see that. It doesn't have any emblem. It could just be used with any castle knight of the time.
Any minifigure.
I like it
nice,
because there's a modern version of it. Like I think there might be a piece here that is like the round silver shield.
It's been on the car headlights.
it's
It's
in
been in a bunch of different things.
Yeah, there it is. So there's a
You
modern
gotta
equivalent
do
right
that.
there that looks almost identical to it, but it's kind of been reimagined right here. You can
Yeah,
see.
so they kind of brought it back.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
So that shield was pretty cool to see in that set back then. But also, there is a horse in the set. One of the knights is equipped as kind of like a light lancer or even a squire or knight, but the horse has a barding on it. And that was the desirable piece that came in some, bigger, more expensive sets. But here it is in the, bargain bin, smaller, more
the
affordable.
battle pack.
So getting that barding piece, which is now probably in the $50 range plus,
That's crazy.
in that kind of small set was a great way to access it and have a couple cool knights running around. So I've gotten several copies of the set throughout the years. I think around 2 or 3, and I still have one built in my display case. Really like it. But for you guys, what do you think about the accessibility of some of the rarer elements? Do you like them when they're more exclusive? Do you like them when they're more common? And what's one barding that you wish you had right now in your hands? Let's start with Steven.
Well, before we...
couple questions there. But yeah.
Well, I do want to comment on the set, though. It's
Yeah.
a really good set. But yeah, a couple questions then. But my favorite barding, one of them is the one from one of my sets coming up, one of the Black Falcon bardings, the only Black Falcon barding. Came in the Kingdom set.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, the rare parts, that's 50-50. It depends. Like, if it's a very, very useful piece, then yeah, I want it in more quantity. If it's a rare part that it's a common piece but in a weird color, that I like.
That's pretty
cool.
special. I like that.
That's my favorite.
What do you think about the concept of rare accessories, Alex?
I think having them in different colors as well, like that universal part, like the shield you were talking about, put it in as many colors as you can, because it's so fun to make different castle factions.
Yes.
And put it with the ones that are there, but also like create your own worlds. That's one of the great things about castle. So I think having those rare parts, but doing different things with them. I'd love to see. I love how they redo it so that it stays rare in the past, but we still get something similar.
A modern iteration of it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's a castle barding? Which faction would you like to see a barding for that we haven't seen yet?
I actually thought of what Steven thought.
You thought of mine too? Yeah, the only
all black one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's just so rare now because it's the only one.
Have
I'd
they
love
made
to
a
see
modern
some
one?
new ones of that.
I don't know if they made a modern barding.
Well, there is a blue
with
one.
this one.
Oh, there's a new one.
The
Okay,
blue,
there's a new one.
Black Falcon barding is really cool, but that's from the modern sets.
Yeah, that's a modern one.
The black one is now pretty rare. I think you'll talk about it later, Steven, so that's pretty cool. But Alex, what's the first set you want to bring up on your list here?
I mean, it was so hard just to pick 6, to be honest. So getting one in this, I still love this set. It's not my top one, but the original Blacksmith Shop, and that came out in 2002. It's set number 3739. I think this one is so much better than the new one. I think the new one's great. You know, I think it's just
bold take.
I think it's too big though. It just doesn't seem like when I tried to put it in my newer medieval
almost the same
town
size
square.
as the castle. Yeah, it's crazy.
It just didn't seem to really fit in there. I mean, it's the Black Falcon's colors, which is amazing. Looks good. I love like the detail on it and inside. But I just felt like it was too big. I think this one was the perfect size.
Yeah.
And I had got it in that bulk that I got from a yard sale. And I just loved that set growing up. It was great to... It was just perfect to be able to reenact different scenes in a village. I feel like with Castle, a blacksmith shop is one of those iconic things that come out in almost every other theme or iteration of Castle. It's just a classic to go to, and I think they just really hit the nail on the head with this one and got it just right.
Absolutely.
I think it only came with like 2 minifigures. It was one
Blacksmith
of the...
and his wife.
They didn't come with many women figures, especially back in that day, for Castle. So to have someone that wasn't like a princess was pretty cool to get. And just kind of a commoner,
just normal
wife,
folk. Yeah.
then a blacksmith, just normal people doing their everyday lives. I enjoyed it, and it was just the right size, and it looks good too.
I liked the fun colors they used.
Yeah.
The blue, normally that would be too bold of a choice, but I think it worked really good, especially for the time. At that time, there was almost no castle going around because Knights Kingdom 1 was over and Knights Kingdom 2 had yet to be released.
Yeah.
So they were in this weird limbo, so that was a really big breath of fresh air. I agree about the size because the big one, I love it to death. It's really nicely made. It's beautiful, but you're right, it is too big. You could theoretically just stick it in there and it wouldn't stand out too badly. Like in this amazing village you got here in front of you. Yeah, the one you chose. Yeah, the 2002 version. You could fit it in here and it wouldn't stand out. And I also love how they filled in every detail. There's like lots of rooms, all those other things. Kind of started the format for Lego, because before that you had just a few like small workshop stalls or something like that. Nothing too great, nothing too large. Maybe the Garden Inn was really nice as well, but now that started the houses because all the other houses are kind of like that one from then on. I've noticed.
Yeah,
all the ones that they actually keep,
yeah.
like Medieval Market Village, all the
Very
rest,
iconic.
they kind of start from there. It's
Spiritual
interesting.
successors, maybe.
Exactly, they're the grandparent. Yeah.
Yeah, we had this set as kids, me and Steven, and we
That's
got it for
great.
Christmas, I think, and
Oh,
we
what a
built
Christmas
it
gift.
incorrectly. Had to rebuild the roof, I think.
That's right. Something was wrong. Like this is not lining up at all. So we had to go once or
Wow.
twice.
Too excited, delirious, maybe.
Yeah, it was
but no, that was a great set to have and enjoy. And so we you got it for me again on our birthday.
Yeah, it
my
was like
birthday.
your something's birthday, 20-something's birthday.
Yeah,
I
a couple
bought-
years ago.
We had one at the store when
That's
it like
special.
the store was really just brand new, like a year old. And I saw it on the shelf. I'm like, man, nobody's buying it. I'm just gonna get it. It's only how much was it? Like $100 maybe, or like
that's
I don't
so
know.
good
It was
nowadays.
really cheap. It was like
It's a good deal.
$75-$100 somewhere, and now it's like 3 times that now. or
Yeah,
something
Yeah, it's
like
several
that.
$100
$200,
now.
$300.
Yeah,
used.
so we had I got one for a pretty good price. I'm like, hey bro, happy birthday! Remember this thing? Yeah, it was fun.
Final note on this one: the blacksmith shop here was actually kind of part of a factory design program. Daniel Siskin was the designer of that, and basically Lego produced his design. I don't know if it was a submission online, don't know the whole story,
That's
but
so fascinating.
fan design versus a set design.
Basically, the first idea set.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, there was a couple other factory sets happening at the time involving space and other themes. So.
Yeah, there's a couple.
There's a train,
It was an
yeah.
interesting process they were doing. They're kind of experimenting with fan designs. Yeah, it was interesting.
But a great set. Great pick, Alex. And that's your first one? I can't wait to see what the rest of your list is.
There's too many good ones.
Well, Steven,
All
what's your
right.
first
well,
most
I'm
humble
going with
set?
a very well. I don't know if it's humble. I picked only big ones.
Okay.
But these are the ones that like. I'll finish off with the ones that are really impactful, and the least impactful are going to be the first ones. But they're still something that really stuck with me growing up
Grand sets.
and affected a ton of our Lego Castle journey. We're going to start with set 8877-1. It's Vladik's Dark Fortress. This was a really surprising set because the second gen. This is Knights Kingdom 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, Knights Kingdom 2, Wave 2.
Wave 2, right. Knights Kingdom 2 had several generations. This is generation 2. First generation, they were okay. I know they have their fan bases. I know it's sort of like the Ninjago folks like really like Knights Kingdom 2 if they're old enough. I really like Knights Kingdom 2, but looking back, they don't hold up. The sets are kind of crummy, like whatever. I'm a kind of a hater. This is the exception, though. This one got Toy of the Year back when it was released. I think it was like 2006 or something.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Somewhere in there. This was like really not a good year for Lego either. So this was a really surprising one. They had just moved away from the raised base plates. They were done. The the Morcia Castle that had a base plate. This one has panels and walls. And they would do this basically from then on. That was kind of the layout for a lot of castles moving forward. They kind of like folded out, and they had these walls that were like they could hook around and stuff. That was useful.
Yeah, they evolved past the raised base plate.
Exactly. But the characters looked better. They looked cooler. They had cooler colors, not just one color. Vladik looked awesome. There was a ton of unique colors. And they had all these siege equipment parts. Like they had catapults, they had ballista, they had all these fun
battering rams in there, maybe?
I think there was a battering ram somewhere here. Jaco's horse had a little catapult on the side, too. And they came with extra guards. They came with huge catapults that shot these laser-looking blades that were like fire, like saws that were coming down. Like this was heavy metal as it gets. I think it's one of the best villain castles that they've ever made. I don't think. Well, there's a couple. There's the Trolls Fortress, but I've had less connection with that one than this one. This one it's black. It's evil. It's electric guitars and like skulls. It's insane. This thing is wild. So yeah, this is my first pick for today.
There you go.
Yeah. That's incredible.
That's an awesome set, Steven. This is one we never had as kids.
We had friends who had it.
We had friends who had it, and we got to kind of experience it a little bit that way. There's a couple sitting in our cases right now.
At least one.
They're not cheap, though. They're a couple $100s as well. A lot of castle sets have gone up in value. Alex, what do you think about the evil side of castle? You like the Dark Fortress vibe going on there?
I do, yeah. I feel like we get more hero things than villains, especially when it came to Knight's Kingdom.
Yep.
So it's really cool to get the villain castle. I don't have this one, but I mean, I've seen it, and it's much bigger than it looks, which is really exciting. There's a lot of things going on. Like you mentioned, all the battering rams. It's just so much fun. If I was a kid and I had that set, I'd probably play with it for endless hours.
Yeah, I know.
It's good as a collector, too.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that when we did stop by our friends' places who did have it, we would absolutely play with it for hours and hours because it's just like there's so much happening. It was so exciting. What did you think of it, bro?
Oh yeah, I love it. I think that we could go for some more villain fantasy vibes because Vladik was taking over the universe. It was doomsday. And I also shout out to the speckle black silver pieces that were littered throughout this thing. A rare color that only appeared in a couple other castle waves.
And Vikings,
but basically castle and Vikings, and that's about it. And so it was also here, and that's pretty cool. So, yeah, but a great set, Steven. Again, this is just the beginning. Pretty fantastic stuff. I'm going to bring it back to the past, though. We were getting further into the future. We're going to bring it right back. Yeah. This is the Guarded Inn, which I alluded to earlier in our childhood. But this is the original was set 6067. The later one was set number 10,000. Which is a pretty neat set number.
Interesting.
Because there's a lot of 10,000. Add a few numbers in there, but set number 10,000 was the reissue in 2001. The original is from 1986. So, and interestingly, the original one was only available in Europe. And I think it might have even only been available in the UK. Somebody fact-checked me on that, which would make it extremely rare, especially in the United States. So having an original one, that's why you see them for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Versus the re-release.
The re-release is still awesome and still kind of rare, but I think that the old one has a little bit more of a story there because of its exclusivity, which is something that is not as common for pretty much all the other castle sets. But Guarded Inn has its own legacy too, with the red Tudor panels and the opening. Some great figures. You had a female castle figure, which is pretty rare to see. Some great accessories. And the guards were not necessarily Lion or Black Falcon. They were the crossed axes. Maybe a neutral party.
Faction,
we don't know. But there was a Black Falcon Knight visiting. Seemed more peaceful than other castle scenes. So
he's passing through. Yeah.
Do you guys have any feelings about the Guardian? Alex, have you seen this set? Did you know about how it was kind of exclusive to the Europe area?
I didn't realize it was exclusive to Europe, so that's really cool to hear. I'm glad they reissued it. So
exactly.
Because that was one that you and Steven got, right?
As kids, in 2001. So
that's great. I mean, it's so iconic as well. I mean, they redid it for the medieval town square here just because it's so iconic.
Yeah, definitely some,
That red really stands out.
They're really getting inspired.
Especially on the original. And I think that's an exclusive piece to that, right?
I think both the red panels are, they're exclusive to that set, or the reissue, so, Very cool. And Steven, you remember this one from kids, right?
Vividly, yeah. We would play with it all of us together would play with that one. There was a lot of rooms, a lot of fun things going on. I do like those panels. That was definitely the standout. I don't know if they're completely exclusive to that set, the red ones. I don't know for sure.
The yellow ones were used in the Black Falcon's Fortress and the Dragon Masters, or Black Knights sets.
Yeah, what about the red ones? Were they
red
exclusive?
ones might have been exclusive. We'll have
They
to
may
double
have been.
check. I can throw a picture.
But yeah, no, it was extremely well designed. It was compatible with all the other castle stuff. With the walls, you could line them up with other structures. There was a modularity theme going on.
Yeah,
that
put
was
it in
really
your castle
smart.
scene.
Yeah, it worked perfectly, and the figures were all really fun too. So it was what's not to love. It was everything about it was just fantastic. So.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing about the old castle sets is they were designed to go in a giant castle scene. So if you have every old castle set from those mid '80s years, you can make a castle scene as big as this room, and it all links together, and it's really cool.
Oh yeah.
So I've seen pictures with people have their whole collections in the living room. It's like,
It's pretty cool.
but super cool, and I'm glad that me and Steven have this one now. It was actually a gift from a friend, and it was a really cool gift, so I'm very excited to have the one, but glad you guys like it too. But Alex, what's the next one you want to bring up?
So we're going to stay in the past with this one. This
I like
is
it.
a Black Falcon set from 1987 called the Battering Ram, but it's interesting because even though it's considered a Black Falcon set on Bricklink's database, it is basically a set that's a half and half. So you've got a Black Falcon fortress or castle, and it's versus a Lion Knight Battering Ram.
Yes.
And this is set number 6062. And I feel like they just haven't. This is one that I would love to get at some point because you have two of the most iconic factions. I'm a big Black Falcon fan, so I was looking over all the Black Falcon sets. It's like I love the battles. And so having like a half and half
conflict.
is just very rare for Castle.
Yeah.
That's really kind of balanced and even in terms of the forces. So you've got the Castle and this huge battering ram that these Lion Knights are
big
on.
siege weapon.
It's like who's gonna win? You really don't know. So that's
You
kind of
roll the
part of
dice.
fun with
Yeah.
it. So
that's awesome.
So that's one that really caught my eye. One that's it's like if I get one, this is definitely on my top 6 that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
I want. So,
It's a phenomenal set, and this kind of feeds into the idea of the rivalry between the Black Falcons and the Lion Knights. And I think that Black Falcons are generally a little more popular, but I'm a Lion Knight fan, so I lean towards them.
maybe you should sit here, Steven.
Yeah, maybe.
if the lines were drawn and the battle started, whose side would you join? Because I think we would be on opposite sides, me and Alex. But who would you join?
Ooh, I'd stick with the Forestmen.
You're out of there. Yeah.
I'm out. I'm in the Forestmen. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
What do you think of the siege weapon, though? I think that's a good inclusion in a wall
It's
set.
neat to see that because a lot of the castle themes and a lot of the conflict themed stuff that they've come out with, Legos come out with, it's usually one side gets amplified, the other gets smaller. Like you'll have a large something for one side and have a smaller one for the other side.
Yeah,
in
the
a single
bad guys
set.
have a small outpost. The good guys have a big, nice
Big
castle.
something or other, yeah. Or not necessarily, but like in a single set. Like you might have a bad guy on a horse, and then you have a big castle or something. It's neat to see 50-50 because Lego doesn't really do that anymore. So that's a nice, unique feature to it. And any of the siege equipment is really fun to have because a lot of people prioritize the castle, but if you want something to happen, you need to have the equipment for that to happen. So it's definitely like kind of a must-have for any castle theme. So yeah, definitely good choice.
Yeah, siege warfare was more important than open battle for medieval armies, so having a good battering ram is excellent.
Oh, yes, of course,
Awesome.
yes.
Well, fantastic set, Alex. I'm glad we currently have this in our collection. This is one that I picked up before,
You have one?
before it got too outrageous. It is very expensive, like most of them. So, but so Steven, what's your next set you want to bring up?
Well, the next one I'm going to go with, let me see, let me pick one out here. I'm going with I think our first Castle fantasy era pick, and that is the Troll Warship. This thing is just so downright cool. I haven't built one on the Joy of Building, but I built. We've seen them come in occasionally here at the store.
I think we have one for sale right now. A kind of a beat up one.
It's partially finished.
Yeah.
We have one here. And whenever you see them, it's always so epic because there's not really another set like it in the castle genre. You have the skeleton ship, which is cool, but they actually went with more of a pirate vibe, which was kind of weird. The captain actually has a bicorn hat in that set, so that's a little bit different. But the warship first of all, it's gigantic. It's like 2.5, almost 3 feet long. It's huge.
That's huge.
It's got the giant troll, beating the drum with the things like the cartoon, like the Roman galleys, It's got some great printing on the sails. All the minifigures look great. A lot of fun, useful parts that may break. A lot of brittle brown going on and dark red. A little scary. But yeah, no, the best part though, for sure, is that green dragon though. I'd argue, outside of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, that is the best medieval animal out there, aside from maybe the goat, perhaps, because it is the goat. But as far as like dragons are concerned, that green dragon is phenomenal. It has a unique molded head,
armored dragon,
printed head, the armored green with yellowy gold accents. With my favorite character from the Fantasy Era riding it, kind of like he has the Raskus head, that one knight with the visor. He appears in a couple sets as. He doesn't change very much, though, so I think he's actually supposed to be a character in the story.
Yeah, the main good knight. Yeah,
one of the main good knights. He rides it, and it's just so downright epic. And it makes sense too, because he's flying over the ocean, and then here comes this giant warship he's scouting out. Like the story can build or whatever, and it's just so downright cool. So yeah, one of the best boats, like the best boat I think in the entire castle genre for sure. So,
yeah. A phenomenal set. Alex, what do you think about this very special dragon and ship? What do you think about this unique environment for a castle set?
It's pretty amazing because, I mean, oftentimes you might have, like, especially up in, like, Scotland, Ireland, England, you see, like, castles on the coast and stuff like that. And, of course, you had Vikings, medieval times, but to have something, for one, we're in Fantasy Era, which is one of the best, I think, castle eras.
I think it's
one of the most unique castle eras, kind of brought it back to life. And so this was one I remember seeing in the catalog growing up. Like, man, I wish I had this.
We all saw it. We all saw it.
And then it's just so much bigger in person too. And I love, most of the time it's the bad guys, the villains that have the dragon. So to see good guys, the heroes, the knight on a dragon, you can't get much cooler than that.
It's so epic. The good guy with the dragon.
Definitely a great pick on that one.
There's even a dwarf, by the way. He's captured. I just realized.
They have a captured dwarf.
They have a captured dwarf. I just realized that.
Oh, okay. So dwarves did come in another set.
They do. They come in.
A few
I think that's a dwarf. Yeah, it looks like a dwarf.
One of the few dwarven appearances outside of their minds and such. But yeah, it's such a unique set, Stephen. That's probably my favorite Lego Dragon, just because I have less of a connection to the Hobbit movie or story than most, Hobbit fans.
We played with these as a kid, not Hobbit toys.
That's the dragon I want to collect a little bit more because it's so cool. The green and gold and silver armor, so cool. Amazing pick, Stephen. But I guess it's my turn here. Let's see. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna be contrarian a little bit here. So, Stephen, you said you didn't like the Wave 1 Night.
Oh no! Here we go. I remember your pick.
So I'm actually a proponent of those being better than the Wave 2 and Wave 3 Night Skating sets.
Well, Wave 3 for sure, but yeah.
Well, Wave 3 has its own unique aspects, but Wave 1 had some cool story elements. If Wave 1 wasn't such a big success, Wave 2 wouldn't have happened. So my favorite set from Wave 1 is the Citadel of Orlin, which is set number 8780, came out in 2004. And when I saw this in the magazine, I was so excited. And as a kid, we never got this. I don't know why. We just never saved up for it.
We got a lot of those sets, though.
We got a number of those sets, including the Big Castle, thanks to a thrift store find. But this is one we never got as kids. However, it's one that I always wanted. In fact, I wanted it so badly, I made mocks to look like it. I was so inspired by this kind of fanciful, it's almost like a abandoned castle, but there's all these traps that the heroes have to get past.
Cathedral-ish,
it's almost like Dungeons and Dragons in a way, because they're trying to get past all these obstacles in order to get to the treasure, which is the heart of the shield to defeat the bad guy. The MacGuffin.
Heart of the shield.
And that's what it's called. And so I love this set, and I got it recently, and it was a phenomenal build. It has so many great play features, and it was a pretty affordable price back then too. So I think this stands out among to be honest, the theme is not the best cast theme.
It doesn't age very well.
But this is the highlight, I think, from that wave and from that theme. But what do you guys think? Just to rehash it out, Stephen.
First.
Yeah, Alex, you had the tail end of Knights Kingdom 2. Do you have any feelings about the first two waves?
I love the story. I mean, it just kind of a continued story. So it was very important to the story itself. But I think in terms of play features, it's incredible, especially the little vine piece that goes up on the side.
Yeah,
you can bring them from the bottom all the way to the top. You don't see that very often, and it included other play features. I don't think it ages very well.
It's a little rough around the edges for sure.
Especially if you want to collect every like wave of Knight's Kingdom, or you do like the first one, that's a must-have.
Yeah, there you go. And Steven, do you think this one does have some,
Redeeming
silver lining
qualities.
to it at all? What do you
You're
think?
right about the play features. Most castles just have like the drawbridge or the launching something or other. So pretty rudimentary, basic stuff for a castle, for play features at least, that I've observed. But no, that's right. Knight's Kingdom 1 and 2, and even 3, they all had really good play features. I remember Knight's Kingdom 1 especially, there was one where Santis would throw a boulder and it would smash a wall and other fun things like that. So yeah, kudos where kudos are due. The play features were good, but I just don't like the aesthetics. I think it just doesn't look very good. The colors, or lack of color, I think is the better way of saying it. Is
that exclusive colors like violet? I mean,
yes, there's some violet. That's cool, but they barely use any of it. I don't know.
Stained glass windows? What's that to like? Okay,
I don't like it, but okay, no.
I get it.
It's a good set. The play features hold up really well. I think the design doesn't hold up as good as the others, though. That's just
it's the product of its era, early 2000s,
And
big pieces.
If you're really into that era too, if you like, Dino Attack, Alpha Teams, Third Gen, a couple others of those themes, then yeah, it's got that quirky early 2000s Lego, which it's the Dark Ages. You either love it or you hate it. I'm kind of in the middle, I guess.
I gotcha. No worries. But I will say though, just shout out to my Instagram. I did a little video of the vine climbing one. Over 500,000 people.
Okay, you.
And 2,000 people voted that it was the best castle play feature ever. So
Really?
yes,
2,000 fans?
91% of the people that voted said it was the best castle play feature ever. So I'm saying there's definitely some standouts even among the
What about
castle
this
team.
bridge that folds out? That's not the
That's
best
barely a play feature.
That is a play. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, anyway, so I that's my little a contrarian argument aside. Alex, what's the next set you want to talk about? So.
This might be another hot take, but I know we were talking about dragons.
Yep.
One of mine is from the Dragon Knights, the Dark Dragon's Den. Set number 6076 from 1993. And I love that classic dragon, the green and the black one. When I think of Lego Dragon, I think of that. It's at all the theme parks. Grew up with that one, and it's something I got from that yard sale bulk that one time. I had both of those dragons. Love that thing. But I really like this set because, again, when I think of like castle and medieval times and dragons, and like specifically, I think of their like Dragon Den. So for them to have come out with this set, to have that classic green dragon, you even get Magisto, and you get some of the cool Dragon Knights. One of them has a really cool cape. You get the Dragon Knight flag. There's just some really cool, even though it has a lot of the bulky pieces, especially the rock parts. I think it's just a classic moment within Castle. It's one of my favorite factions outside of Black Falcons.
That's it.
That's
the one.
right
Okay,
there.
yeah, I got you.
There's so much going on with that. Of course, the Knights are coming to get the dragon. But I just love things like that cloth, like cape that he has.
That is a
Unique
nice
And also like the flag. It's still some things that I have today. So
Now, this is a great set, I think, for different reasons. But for me, the build itself, with the big mountains, it's a little clunky maybe. There's some other castle sets suffer from that too. But the accessories, like the Dragon Knights, the flags, the fabric
battle
cape,
pack, honestly.
some of those.
So much
There's a whole castle underneath. But,
That's true. Yeah.
It's basically made to look like a mountain, and I think for that it definitely achieves it. And all the stuff that goes with it makes this a really special set. It is very collectible because of all the other features that are included in it. So, Steven, what do you think about it?
I think the parts are absolutely insane. I think the same sentiment. The overall, it's not quite as aesthetically pleasing as some other mountain theme stuff I've seen.
It's a good mountain, but I don't know if it's a good great
decent.
castle.
I like that tree a lot. I like the tree. I like the staircase. Those are they're hard to implement, but when you do get them implemented nicely, they're actually pretty fun. Those old school staircases. I've built with them a few times here in the Joy Building. So no, it's a really fun one, and you're right about those capes and I think there's 2 of those giant flags in this one set alone.
it's so nice.
Which is crazy. It's a really fun set. I think these are just a little bit more lively than it. I could almost give the same complaints that with Knight's Kingdom, but this one's just more lively, more fun, more colorful and playful.
That dragon is the most iconic.
And the dragon, like, I'm sorry, it needs no introduction. Like, that is the dragon. That is the original, the OG, the one that started all. It's a fantastic mold. It doesn't break. It holds up really, really well. It's just a phenomenal animal, and they're still relatively affordable because I made so many, and it's thanks to sets like that. So yeah, it's definitely a really good one.
Fantastic, yeah, a great set. This is almost like if Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon was set in the '90s. This is set in the '90s because it's a dragon's cave
with like some Spielberg influence or whatever.
Yeah, fantasy,
fantasy Spielberg, whatever.
Interesting. No, it's a great set. It's like, I think we can get over the few qualms it does have. So.
No, of which there are only a few. Barely, and that's just a stylistic choice. But yeah, it's a really good set.
Fantastic. Oh, Steven, what's the next one you want to bring up? Are we on our third pick now?
I think this is my third. Yeah, let me go back to my pictures here just to check. I think next on the list is going to be... this is a hard choice. Let's go with one of the all-time great towns, and the precursor to this set you got on the table. Medieval Market Village, set 10-19-3. This one's amazing. It's not as expensive as some of the other town-themed castle sets that we'll talk about in a minute. But it has some really cool stuff. It's got the brown cows. It's got a great selection of minifigures and accessories. 2 really fun houses. These were so good when they came out. Me and you, Mark, we bought 2 when they came out. We're like, we'll take 2 of these. We used one for parts. Tried to save the other one, but we ended up opening it. Like, I kind of wish we had saved it because they're expensive now. But
but we played with it.
It's meant to be played with. Some amazing pieces. A couple play features as well. You have the watermill with the hammer that became like a signature thing after that for a while. People really liked it. No, it's a wonderful addition to the crown. The crownies, I should call them.
Fantasy era.
From the fantasy era. Because now the trolls have somewhere to attack. They have something to attack, not just the castle. So there's more at stake now, essentially. A lot of unique torsos that only came in this one. I think there's some of the
peasants and villagers.
Some of the villagers, some of the peasants. There's some unique to that set as well. So there's a lot of those fun features that get thrown in there and stuff like that. It looks really good. The colors are fantastic. Some great like stickers and everything. Just a really lovable set, and not too crazy compared to some of the other castle sets I've seen, and especially like Lord of the Rings stuff. It's kind of in the middle, I'd say. So yeah, it's definitely a really good one.
Definitely collectible, but I think it's actually possibly becoming more underrated now than when it first came out in the years afterwards.
You think so?
I feel like it's like people who didn't maybe grow up with Castle at the time maybe don't understand the significance of the set for Castle fans at the time. So that's my old take on it. But man, such a great set. Yeah, having a couple copies of this as a kid really helped us become huge Castle fans. Solidified
really
us.
Boosted it. Yeah.
Alex, do you have any experiences with this set? What do you think about it?
I remember seeing this one in the catalog. I think it was out of my price range at the time. It looked fun, but it wasn't one that like caught my attention, to be honest. I do love the features of it, especially as I've gotten older. Of like, how you can make it larger or make it smaller. I always love the kind of everyday life kind of things in Castle outside the main castle, and so I appreciate this set. It's not one that I think I'm ever gonna get. And I just I didn't have the same experience with it, like having it, building it, and I'll talk about that more. Talk about the medieval town square, but I definitely appreciate it. I know for many, it's one of the Holy Grail sets, the White Whale. It's up there for Castle, so I definitely respect it, appreciate it. But for me personally, it's not one of my top sets.
Interesting.
Yeah. I do like how you mentioned the blacksmith shop earlier. These are kind of got that vibe with the opening, so you can
it reminded me of the blacksmith
solid
shop
square building, or you can open it up and kind of make a street of it. So it's pretty cool. So
I love that.
Yeah, I think that set that you brought up earlier, I think it definitely inspired this one. In a lot of different ways, because the buildings are very similar. Like you even have one of them is actually a blacksmith shop. Actually, one of them has the hammer and everything.
It's just tan.
With all the features and everything. One thing I want to highlight is that tree in the middle. It's actually super underrated because you can use that template for a bunch of different designs. And I use them all the time at conventions, and people are like, "I love your trees; they look so good." Like, thanks. I got it off of a set a long time ago.
Secrets revealed.
Secrets revealed. Yeah, it's super common. It's a 4-pointed star essentially, and it works really, really well for most applications. But what do you think, bro? You already gave your opinion.
I gave it
okay,
but yeah, just a great set. Definitely worth your pick, Steven. Yeah. Top 5 for me too, although I knew somebody else would pick it, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But here's one that did make my list. This is the Mill Village Raid 7189.
This was
That's
destined to come up.
2011. This is the next generation after the Crown Knight Fantasy era vibe. So this would have been a couple years after the Mill Village Raid. And I think it's also like the next wave in the medieval village spiritual succession, because you have the blacksmith shop probably starting it off, or maybe the Guarded Inn, and then afterwards you have the medieval market village, and you have the Mill Village Raid. It's the next step. It is a little smaller, and it was more affordable at the time too. I think it was medieval market village would have been like $100. Would have been like I think in the 60, 70 range.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around.
It wasn't
75,
too bad. I think it was $69.99 maybe. And it's a great set. Has a couple really cool peasants. Has a couple bad knights trying to cause
Baddies.
trouble, possibly raid the village. I mean, that's what's implied by the
Harassing.
subtitle. It has a unique gray horse, which is a very cool color that we haven't seen horses appear in since.
Like a draft horse.
Yeah, it has a very unique print. And then, some great things. But really, the important part about this set is the goats. You got two little spotted goats in there, and thankfully, LEGO has come out with multiple goats since this set, but about a year or two ago, we really couldn't say that we were all just screaming for more goats. Literally going, anyway, yeah, the goat scream. Exactly.
Superimpose it, yeah.
And I think the important thing to note is that the goat is special for Castle fans, but it's special for the LEGO community.
Oh, yeah.
So this is something that is, it's one of the most meaningful Castle sets, and the reason it's on my list really is because the goat has transcended the Castle theme to become a thing in the LEGO community.
Oh, yeah.
And so because of that notoriety, I have to put it on the list, and I just wish I had been smart enough to buy one. I still don't own the set. I still don't own a spotted goat. I have some white goats now, and I will probably get some gray goats at some point.
Wait. You don't have a spotted goat?
Oh, no, I don't. You do.
Oh, no, we have two.
Yes.
One is in really bad shape. We got it for like $50.
Yeah.
And the other one, I did win it in a contest, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, I don't have
I can share it, man.
I don't have this set. I don't have two good, nice goats sitting there. You have yours that you won. It's a prize. It's
yeah, that's true.
So I think this is something that I've missed out on, and I haven't made a concerted effort to get it. But the goats are still expensive. The cheapest you could find is maybe $60, but I think you'd probably see them more in the $80 to $100 range still.
Yeah.
So
at their peak, they're around 150 average.
Yeah, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
But Alex, what do you think about the goat craze? Are you glad that you've got access to goats now? What do you feel about that?
I'm glad they came back out with them. I've heard that the mold is just a tiny bit different now.
Possibly, I don't know.
But I mean, of course, they're different. I like that they did that they kept the other ones exclusive and rare, but now everyone can get a goat. And I like how they've done different colors.
Yeah, the white goat is pretty accessible with the minifigure, and then the gray goat, if you are willing to buy a really good set, which you'll talk about later, you can get it too. So
and it's now on Pick a Brick as well. I think it's sold out. We were talking about this.
Currently sold out.
It'll come back.
We imagine it'll be back soon within a month or two. So.
Yeah, and then the price is going to collapse from there, but that's good. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're tired of expensive goats.
Exactly. No, Stephen, having won a goat, how do you feel about the rarity of the spotted goat versus other goats?
I have a T-shirt that has a goat on it. I should have worn it. You've probably seen it on the channel a number of times. I'm wearing the Castle shirt today, but no, it's on a T-shirt. And when the Lego part is on a T-shirt, that we didn't make it. Someone else decided.
It's a Brick Monarch design.
It's a Brick Monarch, I think, design. Yeah, it's stupidly iconic. The set itself is fun. I do like it a lot. I think it's I don't know. I think as a set, I think Medieval Market Village is just a little bit more. It's larger. There's a little more going on.
More grandiose.
But being a smaller set, that's also a medieval life set. I've noticed we're picking a lot of the medieval life sets over like the more war themed ones.
Oh, just wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that one. I think it really holds up. I think it holds up nicely. There's fun play features. The minifigs are great, and I know that for Kingdoms, the Green Dragon Knights. They have one of the most devout cult followings for that faction. People love the Green Knights. They look great. They're printed. Their printing is awesome.
They're
Shields
like $15 or more now.
Yeah, even for the cheapest ones. The more expensive ones, it's like $50 for a Barding or something like that. Like I don't remember exactly.
More than that, probably.
More than that now?
Yeah,
oh my word. Yeah. But yeah, no, super desirable. Super people really like those guys. So yeah, no, it was a really good successor to Fantasy era, and the goats really just solidified it like forever in Lego's history. So yeah, it was hilarious.
The goats went to outer space and back. It was amazing.
They really did. They really did.
Well, Alex, bring us back down to earth. What do we got here?
So I'm actually taking us to Fantasy era again.
Hey, I'm all about it.
Not going back to earth. This is set number 7036,
This is a
The
really
Dwarf's
big
Mine, from 2007. I remember seeing this one in Target and wanting it so bad. It was one I didn't get, so it's still one on my list to get. And I noticed when I was looking at it on Bricklink, it said it came in 2 different box versions, and one had special edition on it. So this is kind of a more special, exclusive set you couldn't find everywhere. But I just love, it's the main one with the dwarves. It's their, like, basically their castle, their fortress in the mountain. And it's like a big mine, which is really cool. You can take the mine cart in and out. But then you got the trolls going against it. So it's not your normal, like, even in fantasy, like skeletons versus the humans, or the trolls versus the humans. It's the dwarves versus the trolls. I just love this setup. You get one of the big trolls. It's just, you could just have so much fun with this.
There's so much
It looks
story.
imposing too, the build, and it's just something we've never seen since. It's just something super unique within the castle lineup, and I love it, and I want it.
I know. This is an amazing set. Steven, what do you think about this? You've built it, right?
Oh, it's fun. I built it on the live stream a few times, once at least. It's a really, really fun set. It definitely holds up quite well. The design's very fun. It's all thought out very smartly. The play features are really good. A lot of the smaller details, like the mine cars, are really good as well. The troll is a great design. We have one of those trolls. I got one recently, actually, just not even a couple months ago, for my tree guys. So yeah, the minifigs are outstanding. Some of the best in the fantasy era, and that's saying something. There's some really good ones in the fantasy era.
There's a lot of good
trolls.
ones.
Both dwarves and trolls. They had unique colors. They had unique design helmets. Never used again on anything else ever. Some unique weapons. They were just so much fun. And I also saw this in the magazine. I'm like, that is the coolest thing ever. I'm like, Mom, can we get it? She's like, so that one's a little bit pricey, and we couldn't really find it anywhere. So we're like, So she went on either Bricklink or eBay or somewhere, and she ended up buying all of the dwarves, I think, for one of my birthdays. Was it us or was it her? I don't remember.
She enabled us to buy them
She helped us make it happen. So we got like basically the whole cast, but not the mine. So we had them running around our fancy era scene. So the dwarves were around. Didn't get the trolls. But that was okay. We had the skeletons, so we had a lot of fun. But so it's sort of a mixed amalgamation of that. But man, they left such an impression. Everyone's like, that is so different and so cool. So that is like the crown jewel of the sort of subgenre of all castles.
The true fantasy of the fantasy.
The true fantasy of the fantasy era. That's true. That's a good way of saying it.
Absolutely. Yeah, this set is not a large set, but it feels legendary. So it has such a cool vibe.
There's a gravity to it.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like, this is life or death for this ancient dwarven society. So it's really cool. So great set, Alex. This is definitely on my list of sets to buy. When that one came into the store and you built it, I was just like...
Your eyes are watering.
I was literally like drooling over it. But I think it's sold. I don't think we have it anymore. But next time one comes in...
They're not cheap anymore. They're really not.
Next time one comes in, I'm going to snag it so quickly, no one will...
It's going to be a fight.
A thumb war. We'll do a thumb war.
A joust.
Suddenly with a joust.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of joust.
Alex needs one. I'll get one. They'll come into the store eventually. It's okay. But
we'll figure it out.
Great set, Alex. And then Steven, what's the next one you want to bring? I think this is your...
Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is a fun one. This is the most nostalgic. This probably will be a few head scratchers if I told you what it was. Most people won't know what it looks like. But it's 6090. 6090, Royal Knights Castle. So this came out in, I believe it's around the same time that the Dragon Master... Were these guys against the Dragon Masters?
This would have been like late 90s.
Yeah, actually it's mid-90s. Exact mid-90s, because this set came out on my birthday, 1995.
Wow.
And when... there was this little backstory. There was this really cool contest called the Colossal Castle Contest, meant to be a tongue twister.
Still happens every now and
it's still around. It's still going. It's very, very fun. I don't do it anymore as much. You don't either as much either.
We're busy.
But you got Master Builder. The Master Builder title. You basically got the Grand Slam, highest award you could get. You got it. And it's very hard to get. It's very difficult. There's stiff competition.
Great
so
job.
Congrats. And I was like, ooh, I want to turn. Because I also won one of those categories. I did pretty good. I'm like, let's do it again. So I went and I built like crazy for a couple months. And I ended up winning. I got it. I got the grand prize, Master Builder, and this was the prize. So you could win this one. This was like, this must have been 5-6 years ago now. Maybe it was a while ago. But yeah, they were still kind of expensive. They were hard to find. And it's a great build. Like, it looks ridiculous. It's so weird. Like, the colors are kind of all over the place. Black and white.
Awkward shape, but it has great detail.
It's very awkward shape, but the fun detail. I love how it has gargoyles. I love how it has, like, all the blue roofs and everything. There's lots of extra designs, and some of the little tiny bits I use even today. The base plate's really good. It has a really good raised base plate. Has, like, a lot of trapdoors and skeletons and ghosts and a lot of fun figures. There's also a map on Lego Racers. And you could race this castle, essentially. Inside the castle.
So fun.
So you could go visit it in the video game and then play with it here. So we had the video game much earlier, and then we had that castle. There was like double nostalgia right on top of the other. So I built it. I loved it. I actually visited a castle not too dissimilar. New Swanstein there are some tiny little bits on some of the German castles, like some of the more Gothic-ish ones. I think they were going for that vibe with the dragons and the other, and like Basil the Batlord, they're starting to go more Gothic architecture, tiny bit. But no, it's a really fun set. It's not one you see every day in like the top 10, top 20, whatever, top 5 castles. But it's really special to me. So this is a nostalgia pick. What do you guys think of my nostalgia pick?
Yeah, so Royal Knights, not my favorite castle faction.
Not really, yeah.
And I think that some of the other sets are not as good, especially like the carriage and a few other ones. They're like, I could kind of give or take. This one I do like, though. And I think I like it because of the gargoyles, because of the cool roofs. It has a lot of little mini turrets, which really gives it a cool kind of like fantasy old school vibe, like a very fanciful vibe.
Storybook-ish.
Yeah, storybook. Yes, and a cool raised base plate, good use of that. So a really a standout set from an otherwise like not the best castle line.
No,
So, but
not the worst, but not the best.
This balances it out quite a bit, kind of like some of the other sets we've talked about from some of these lines that are less regarded. But yeah, very good pick, and I'm glad you have the nostalgia for it. Definitely one of the better racetracks on Lego Racers.
That is one of the best race. It is. No, that's true. It's
I
true.
think so. I like that race a lot. Alex, do you have any any feelings about this set? Do you have any experience with it before?
Did it ever stand out to you?
I think I have some pieces from this, but I never like from the yard sale block, but I never put it back together. But I love this castle. Most of the castles in the 90s, I feel like when they were on base plates, they're on more the 32 lifted.
The square ones,
32 by 32.
This is a large one.
This is one of the larger ones, so you get a lot more going on. It's a very imposing castle. It looks beautiful. I was thinking of German castles as well, so I love the design on it, the printed parts, all the figures.
There are a ton of printed parts, yeah.
I like this one. This is nice.
The black and light gray is a really deep contrast. It's pretty cool.
It also has a nice barding as well. The barding in that set is also quite good, yeah.
The light knight's barding, yeah. It has kind of a regal look compared to some of the more armored knightly looks.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a fun one.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll pick my second to last set here. We picked our top 6, so it's a little bit more, so this is going to be a long episode. But the next one is, I think, one of the greatest, most iconic sets of all time, not just castle. This is kind of like how the goat transcended the Lego castle theme. The representative of the Lego castle theme is, of course, the set 375 castle, also known as the Yellow Castle.
The Yellow Castle.
And so everyone calls it the Yellow Castle, but the set name was just Castle. This is the castle. This is the original
all you
castle.
needed. That's all you needed.
Tied for a couple other sets for being the first to ever include minifigures that have printed faces and articulated arms. So a very big distinction from previous Lego entries in their system of play, which was brand new with this set. So in 1978, this set would have released. It was a game changer. It sold very well in Europe. There's also a American version, which came out later in 1981, 6075. Same set, just for the American market because they never got the original. So kind of a cool story how it had like 2 different lives.
Two releases, yeah.
But I mean, it's super iconic. The yellow color is so bold and rich, and it really works for what it is. The story goes that they didn't use gray because they didn't want to have kids have access to gray pieces so they can make tanks. Because that's all they would have built. Because this would have been 78. It's still technically Cold War era stuff going on. So it would have been, they were trying to avoid tanks at all costs. I think it was also just because yellow pieces were on hand and easy to make a castle out of.
Very easy to
but
make,
I could be wrong on that. But it did have a couple of cool pieces. Corner, large slopes, a lot of arches. Those were relatively new back then.
Mm-hmm.
So some cool things happening there. A really cool exclusive flag. You've got a ton of different figures. Stickers, of course, because they were still trying to figure out torso printing at the time. And so some really cool details to the set. I could go on and on. But what do you guys think about the Yellow Castle? How do you feel about it kind of rippling throughout history in the castle community? What do you think about it?
Do you want to go first?
Or Steven?
I'll go first. It's super. It's more iconic, I think, than the goat in a couple unique ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see it on this cool tapestry in this very set.
In the latest
castle set
yeah.
still has a reference to the first castle set. We'll show that off in the extra shots or later.
The B-roll.
Yeah, the B-roll. That's it. Yeah, this tapestry actually has that castle on it.
You should see the miniature Yellow Castle inside that
and there's
one.
a miniature
that's
yellow
true,
castle
yeah.
that the kid can play with in here.
Mm-hmm.
If it was gray, I don't think it would be as good of a set. I think it would be a lesser set if it was
It'd be kind of
gray.
boring. Yeah.
Because after that, you had the Lions, the Black Falcons, you had all these other cool castle factions, and you had some of the other ones too that all had these gray everything. Gray was just boom, took off. They never went back to yellow, and it's just quietly sat there. I am the first. I am unique in this sense. It's like it's golden. It's like the trophy. It's like that's the one. I love the fact that they have never made another Yellow Castle in any way, shape, or form. It's always been just that one. Like they kind of have a weird reference for it, and like it speaks for itself. Even as a set now, yes, it is extremely like. Not basic, but it's like
dated,
rudimentary.
Yeah,
it's not
simple.
it's not super dated, but you would still have fun with that, even if you just pulled that out. That was the only Lego set you have. You're like, oh yeah, this is actually really cool, and I can do all kinds of other stuff for it. It has a good selection of arches, a good selection of like little window pieces too. Like those 1x1s are really cool to have. It has extra doors, has the drawbridge, a bunch of minifigures, a surprisingly high number
like
of
a dozen
minifigures.
minifigures.
I know the space sets. I don't think they had as many as the castle sets.
Not nearly.
And they have more accessory. Well, about the same amount. But no, I think on its own it stands up really well. The stickers are a little scary to have. They can scratch and get worn. That's
Makes
the
it
only,
harder to find a good one.
That makes it the hunt even more exciting. So honestly, it really needs no introduction. It is, everyone knows what it is, and there's a very good reason for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Alex, do you have any feelings about the Yellow Castle, given that it's referenced in one of your favorite sets here?
I mean, this is the castle. This is what started it all. So I'm so thankful for this one.
Mm-hmm.
We have everything else from this. So, I mean, I love the brick-built horses. I love those knights.
You can build your own animals.
The figures are great. I'm so sad it's stickers that they
Yeah.
wear off. And, that's just such a shame. But that's where Lego was at the time, and so it's still just as iconic and beloved as ever. So I love this one.
I remember reading about it in our Lego history books, our Lego
DK Reader
the
books.
DK, the Ultimate Lego books. There are different versions. Some people may have read them and not seen this castle. Ours had it in the Lego timeline. You know, the 70s. You know, these things came out. Where did you get this one, bro?
So this one was a Bricklink purchase way back, probably around 2011 or 12. And
I
I
thought
got
you
it.
were crazy to get it.
It was $200 back then for a complete one.
I mean,
so.
now that seems
200? That's it?
Now
Oh, my word.
for a complete one, you're looking at about 800 plus.
Wow.
So, especially if you have the box. I don't have the box. I do have the instruction booklets in great shape,
That's great.
but I don't have the box, and I'm on the hunt for a good box. If you have a good box, let me know. I will joust you for it. But one final note on this one, I do love those visors. They've never appeared since, and there's nothing even remotely similar to them.
And they hold up decently well. They don't break or
They
bend.
look cool.
They stay nice and stiff. They're good.
They're hard to find, but they're very cool. So, yeah.
I love all the factions, all the shield things on there. That's in one set too.
You get 5 different groups, basically.
Shout out to the Maltese cross, which will never appear in a Lego set because of the religious significance of the cross.
Really?
Yeah, so.
See, my favorite is the Shamrock guys. I think
The Shamrock is really
Shamrock,
cool.
the red
The
and
chevron.
the dark blue.
Did
The
they
Chevron's
put
pretty good.
Some of the shields
They
in here
did.
too.
They brought
I
them
love that
back.
throwback.
That was one of my favorite shields.
And they're
Yeah.
printed, right?
They are printed.
Oh, yes.
I used to print little stickers. Where are they? Where are they?
No way.
They're
There's
somewhere
the
in here.
Shamrock in there.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. I used
Dining
to.
room.
I can't get that out. Anyway, I used to print those on shields with little stickers from a little printer. We'd measure it out to the millimeter or whatever, and then we would get them on the shield, cut them out, and then it would work perfectly. And now they got real ones, so there's like a reference. There's so many. Everything ties back to that one. So.
It's the root of all the themes. So,
Oh yeah.
Anyway, a great set. We all love it. But what's the next one you want to bring up, Alex? What's on your list?
So my number 2 of the top 6 is this one right here, the Medieval Town Square, the latest castle set. So we have the first one and the last one so far.
Wow.
And that's 10332. I never got to experience the original Market Village, and it didn't really catch my attention growing up. But when I saw this one get released, and also that this is what's brought the goat back, so we get that.
Is that it?
That's it. Gray goat. I love this guy. But side to side, I was getting more into Castle again, so I got this set back in February, March, somewhere in there, and I really enjoyed this. I love all the uniqueness of the buildings, the different ways. I've probably displayed this on my shelf too many times in different ways.
Rearranged it.
So I've enjoyed it. I love the little details. I love how they redid the guarded inn here.
Yeah,
I think that's a great set.
That does look like
I'm a huge fan of cheese, so the little cheese like shop and little. I just love
goat cheese.
What I really love. I've heard complaints about there's not enough minifigures, but I thought it was just right. And that's because each of these minifigures has such a meaningful purpose here and role. And so each of the buildings, too, have little flags with the role. So, like, you've got the painter, you've got the
cutlery.
Cutlery
the
there.
inn,
You got the carpenter, you've got the tapestry maker, you've got the cheesemaker.
Like a farmer cheesemaker.
You got the, Lion Knights
the
guard tower. They each have their own flags. And I love how there's, like, room outside of the buildings too for some of the landscaping. Like little wanted posters were a lot of fun with the Bat Lord on there. I love how they brought back the Wolfpack guy.
Yes.
Finally,
Wolfpack. Where'd he go? Where is he? Is he in here?
One of the other things I really enjoyed. Yeah, he's hiding in the top of the carpenter's.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I really did love. All the roles here, but I also loved how there's just so much role playing that you can do here. There's different within the set. Different buildings, different people have different letters from different factions. So it's like, whoa, what's going on in this village? You can just do so much with that. And it pairs so good. I don't have this set.
Really well, yeah. We don't have this one either.
So it's nice. This just looks so good together. It was a ton of fun to build. And it's just, I'm so happy to have this one.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you
definitely
bring
makes
it in,
my top 6, but of course that might change with time. But for now, it's up there. This is for me, since I never had the Medieval Market Village.
This is
which
your
I
Medieval
think
Market Village. Yeah,
is a great set. Like this is for me, and probably so many others now. Like they're kind of their village, their town square. So experience.
A great legacy of everyday life castle sets now brought to modern era. Just a few months ago, this set came out for the first time, and people had able to get it, so that's really awesome. So many great details, like you pointed out, Alex. Really exciting to see it built here. I don't know if you've brought it in before, but you've described it to me in detail a couple times.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah, so such a good set. Yeah, I think that the unique figures really stand out to me the most. But Stephen, what are some of your favorite parts about this set?
So when this came out, I didn't like it. I don't know why I didn't like it, but I didn't feel very excited about it.
We'll just joust about it.
That won't be necessary, because here's the thing. Not just seeing it now, but seeing it when it came into the store 1 or 2 times, I've seen parts of it come in, and then it's sort of built up to seeing it all in one shot.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of awesome! Called out the joust, guys, because it's kind of incredible. I adore the colors. The adding of nougat really does freshen it up quite a bit. And you have tan and dark brown and normal brown. You have all of the best neutral colors mixed in with bright reds, bright blues. You have some other colors let's see, even the yellow cheese really stands out. All the colors are super exciting. It's very Renaissance fairish. It has that sort of atmosphere you get from it. It's all really cleverly, you have basically what could have been 3. You could have split this up into 3 parts and had 3 sets, but it's all in one. You get everything in one shot. Obviously, the goat bringing back the new, like, there's the king goat, now it's the prince coming out, so that's the new one. Super refreshing to see that. We've spoken about that to death. But yeah, no, every story, it invites so much of your own storytelling, so much of your own, like, little lore and backstory you can add to it.
So much fun.
It's fantastic. Like, I want to get it now. It's really good. It's way better in person. The pictures looked very... Maybe it was the black background. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
but the pictures looked very boring. I'm like, this doesn't have that pizzazz I'm looking for. But no, it does. It does in real life. Like, holy cow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, the black box art is something to note because the castle that you'll probably bring up next, Stephen, that had a big bright yellow background. Really sold it for me. Yeah, the black background, I was like, I'm not, that's interesting. It doesn't quite look as great on the computer pictures, but here I think it looks really special.
Yeah, so you got to see it in person.
Yeah, you got to experience it a little more. You got to get into it. So very good set, Alex. And we've alluded to it many times. So glad we got to bring it up and show it off with some good B-roll that I'm sure is appearing on the screen as we're talking about it.
I love the ivory too on this. Sorry, the ivy with the berries and stuff like that.
Building techniques.
Some of the little details.
No, my only one complaint is the tree. I think the tree is a little bit, maybe a tiny bit clumsy compared to the one in like the 90th and a few others. It's not bad, but it's like I think that could be upscaled a little bit. Like I would customize.
They tried
that.
something new. But.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would customize if I bought this. The one thing I would
It's
change.
easy to get more trees. You could get a bonsai tree and put it in there, maybe.
Honestly, you could just you grab the bonsai tree almost. But other the signs though, isn't there a goat reference on one of the signs? Like the price is on sale now. Yeah, they knew
it's right there. They marked it down.
Oh, the goat is on sale. Like they knew the price would go down. They knew the market would change. Like they're aware of the market now.
They're
like
slashing prices.
They're slashing prices on the goats. So the goat, that is really meta. That is hilarious. It's Lego being self-aware.
And a warning about a dragon. Yeah.
Beware. Yeah, I wonder if we'll actually get a new dragon. Do you think we'll get a new dragon? Do you think
we can hope.
I don't know. So. We'll see. That would be amazing to see a new prefab. That would be insane.
Yeah. Anyway,
but yeah.
Steven, what's your next pick here? What do we got?
I don't know what number I'm on. Is this my last one?
This should be second to last.
Yep.
Second to last.
Yes.
Okay. Then in that case, I'll skip this one. And I'll go to... my favorite from the Kingdoms line, and that is the Kingdoms Joust. That's what it's called, Kingdoms Joust.
We've been alluding to this.
We've been alluding to this one. It has some of the best horse barding ever, and that would be the Black Falcon horse barding. Really, a standout.
So good.
The all black knight. I would have liked the black feather, but whatever. He has a dark green feather.
That's easy enough to get if you can find one.
If you can find one, you can swap it out or get a white feather or whatever. There's a lot you can do with that. Anyway, I'm being picky. This thing is amazing. It has a bunch of cool features. The minifigures are all phenomenal. There's a lot of unique ones. There's like this sort of nobleman outfit that has like this cool medallion. There's a great princess with sand green. The peasant boy is also really good. The lion knight is fantastic as well. The queen's great. It's the little tents are fun builds as well. I do wish the buildings were a little bit bigger. But as a whole package, the entire thing is outstanding. It would go great with any city. It would be a nice backdrop for any city. You could have it like the large entryway that would lead to the castle almost, like another... You could make your entire scene look twice as large with a relatively narrow build. It's a great design. The roof pieces are actually super useful. I've used red roofs for a lot of castles. Very nice to have on hand. Great parts build. I don't know if there are any masonry bricks in there, but...
some great figures.
Yeah, there's stained glass windows, figures, details. Like, this is a real standout for the Kingdoms line. The Kingdoms line was really good. It has the goat. But this one gets left on a little bit.
It's honestly better than the castle from this line.
I agree.
Yeah.
The castle itself was okay, but I'm like, this is better. Like, this is a much better castle than the castle itself.
Now, Alex, you talked about this barding before. Have you had this set? Have you ever thought about getting it? Have you seen it
I've thought about getting it. It's been one from time to time. I'm like, if this was in my collection, it would look really good. And that,
be nice.
Especially being a Black Falcon fan, barding in that night is such a standout in this set. And I love how they went big with the joust. We've always had kind of smaller joust sets.
It's always
and I love how this one's big because it was always such a big event when it happened. So I really appreciate this set. I think it's a great pick.
For sure. Now, Steven, I don't know if you remember this. We actually got 2 of these.
I do remember.
Yeah.
I vividly remember.
Because we bought one because we thought it was a great set. We're like, I have to get this one. And then I won one by that Colossal Castle
That's
contest.
right, you
that's
won
what you
one.
Yes.
That's right,
So,
you won it.
a couple good sets to get for sure. So
Yeah, we were trying to win all the contests we could.
grateful we were teenagers. We could just squeeze a few of these sets into our collection. So
It
it was breaking the bank for us back then, but we made it. So I will begin with our last round of epic castle sets. I think we've all got some amazing stuff. I think we can guess what Steven's is. But
Maybe.
this one you might not know about if you're not in the castle community, or if you haven't seen. It's starting to actually make a resurgence now, but it's been slept on for decades. And this is the giant chess set.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So 852293 came out in 2008. Very hard to find. Would have been for sale at Lego official stores, maybe a Target, but almost impossible to find in the wild. You could order it on Lego.com, but I doubt people did because it was several $100s back then. So
That's crazy.
I think it was $200-$300 back then.
Yeah, it was pricey.
So it's huge. It has 33 minifigures in it.
Wow.
And over 2,000 pieces for a chess set. So it
massive.
has a gigantic box that it goes in. It's almost like a coffee table size box.
It's a
that it
decorative
goes-
box, isn't
It's
it?
a huge decorative leather-bound box with a huge... I don't think it's acrylic, but it's a thick plastic coating for the outside of where the figures all go in their custom molded little framed areas. And then
Custom
all the
fitted.
pieces are below it. It's a gray base plate size chess set. So this is magnificent. Opulent, overdone set you've ever
Gaudy.
seen. Gaudy is the word I'm looking for. So I remember seeing this when it first released. I'm like, there's no way I'll ever be able to afford a set that big, and I just kind of forgot about it. But it's kind of come back into the conversation a little bit. You see him pop up every now and then.
Beyond the Brick recently.
Beyond the Brick shared one that you see him at Lego stores. I think Bricking Up Brad, a well-known castle YouTuber, he was talking about one at Brick World that somebody had bought there, theoretically for about $1,000 or more.
Yeah.
Because that's what it goes for now. So one of the most expensive castle sets. It even maybe is more expensive than the Yellow Castle.
A sealed
in some
one,
conditions.
probably, yeah.
Well, a sealed Yellow Castle might change the game, but you're unlikely to find that. So a very rare set. This is one that I wish I could find. And if I do find one in good shape, and it's anywhere near a normal price, which is tons of money, 4 digits at least.
I'll chip in.
I'll
chip
will
in for
break
that
the
one,
bank
bro.
if it shows up. So if
I'll
you have
do
one,
it.
let me know. Let's talk. But yeah, it's such a cool set. What do you guys think about the castle chess sets? Are a thing. Almost every wave has had some iteration since the Knights Kingdom 2. So what do you guys think about chess sets? Have you ever even seen this chess set? What do you think about it? Would you collect it? Let's start with Alex. I'm looking at you.
I don't know if I probably saw this, but it just went right over my head.
You've seen it online before? Yeah. So.
Yeah, online or when I was at the Lego store. I'm sure that I must have seen it,
Yeah.
but it probably just went right over my head as I went to Lego Star Wars.
Yeah. Hey, Lego Star Wars in 2008 was pretty peak, so yeah.
But I mean, when I was looking on Bricklink and all the castle sets through the years, this is one that I was like, whoa. It was like, this is a big one.
It's insane. Yeah.
All the figures just look so good.
Mhm.
And when I went to the price and saw $2,000 to $3,000 in the USA, I was blown away by that. I was like, I'm never getting that one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was like.
I don't know.
Now,
But it looks so good.
I've been working here at Atlanta Brick Co. for going on 8 years. Maybe I need to check. Might be 9. I've never seen this come in.
Same story.
So
I've seen
never
more
seen-
Cloud
never
City
seen it.
sets sealed than I've seen
Yeah,
that one.
We've seen more.
I've seen
sealed Cloud City
$10,000 pieces of Lego equipment come in and out of this store, but I've never ever seen a
I've
chess
seen
set.
3 or 4 Yellow Castle sets. Never seen.
I've
that.
seen Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man come in and out of here. $6,000 minifigure. I've never seen a chess set
Yeah.
Very rare.
once.
But so Alex, so it's not necessarily on your radar, but do you think that Lego should kind of revisit the chess scene? They already have with the tan and brown.
The wooden one looks
You want to see more
Absolutely.
minifigures on there besides that?
That's the best part about, the chess ones. You get all the minifigures with it. I'd love for them to revisit it. I mean, we need Castle, to be more frequent, to be an actual theme again, like they used to do before 2012.
Yeah, we love these big one-offs, but we'd love some $40 and $60 sets too.
Yeah, I mean, kids love it, adults love it. When you have the factions, introduce new factions, the old factions. Please.
Yeah, please. All the Lego executive listening, please let us know.
Oh yeah, but no, I got to say about that chess set though. No, that thing is absolutely insane. It's like Lego. The designers got like a blank check. All right, do whatever you want. Here's make a cool chess set. Like
we have way too many minifigs left over. Can you?
Yeah,
please
we
make
got
some
so many
giant
figs.
set?
Make something crazy. It has like dungeons. It has like compartments and play areas.
Rib cages and towers.
It's like these horrible rib cages on the skeletons. It has like how many squares across is a chessboard?
Typically, it's I think it's 12.
12. Yeah, that's how many dwarves you get. Like there's
Yeah.
so many dwarves in this set. There's so many knights. You get the visored knights. Oh my word! I don't know if there's any specific exclusives to this set, but you get 2 trolls. You get like it's like double whatever fantasy thing you could buy.
amazing.
There's
like,
chrome accessories all over.
There are chrome accessories. There's swords. There's weapons all around the outside. Yeah, if I saw one, I would be like, all right, I don't care how much it is. Like, just shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the greatest castle sets, but like the most under talked about, frankly. Even in top 10 best castle sets,
Yeah.
it rarely comes up because people just don't even know it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you know, you know. Kind of. You're right. It's if you know, you know. Kind
It
of.
is coming back up though, so
I
I think
noticed
that
that.
unfortunately it's going to get increasingly hard to find as Castle fans remember. Oh right, that exists.
Although they may make another one. What if they made a Falcons versus Lions one, like that size?
Modern
good.
times.
Yeah.
A modern times
I'd
one
buy
that
that.
big,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like
That'd
I
be
doubt it
great.
would ever happen. Maybe a Brickling set. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you should make a Brickling set, a modern castle.
Brickling designer program. If no one's done it, I'll
I think you
throw
should
something
try
together.
it. Yeah,
So-
I think you should try that. But no, I think it's you're right. It's one of the all-time greats. So,
Yeah.
I remember seeing it too and thinking, "There's no way." Look at the price tag. Like, not a chance. Never gonna happen.
It's so expensive.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Alex, what's your final set you want to present for us here?
So my number one is the Knights Tournament. The original one came out in 1979, 383, and this was probably, like you mentioned, a European exclusive. States one came out in 1981, and that was number 6083. But when it comes to Castle, I mean, Castle is like the most iconic. Of course, it's probably the Yellow Castle. But for me, like when I think of like medieval times, just back in the day, the joust are what really get me, and I think are the most interesting thing to me of the Castle lineup of things. The one that you brought up, I love that set, but this is just so classic to me.
The colors.
There's something about the brick built horses. I know they're inferior to the new ones.
No,
I love those.
Yeah.
I love how you get some of the really cool like molds of the knights and the different factions, the joust little scene. Very small, but just so iconic to me, and one that would be my like white whale castle sets is that one.
Yeah.
And I love how they reference that in the medieval town square.
Oh, was
with
there
the
a
yellow
joust
castle.
from the
There
brick?
is
So
a
beneath
joust.
the yellow castle,
It's the brick
they
built
had-
horses.
with the brick built horses on there,
Wow.
the joust. I was like, that is beautiful.
In the background of that scene behind the pavilion, there's actually
Yeah.
a cypress tree, which is also a $40,
Yeah.
$50
that's
tree.
right.
So there's
Yeah.
one
Very
there
old.
in a castle set,
Yeah.
which is very cool because it's
Yeah.
typically a city thing you see. So
Yeah.
really neat.
Is the microphone going to pick up that rain?
It might. You got a little rainstorm going. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about the rain, folks. We're doing everything we can. Yeah, no, that joust is extremely fun, and it is the colors that really gets it. Like, it really brings the whole scene to life. It
Great
feels
figures.
alive. It
Yeah.
feels fun. It feels like a world that's being lived in. And no, you're right. You're right to be nostalgic for it. It went so well with the Yellow Castle too, and Lego's
Oh, I
always
can't
tried
imagine.
to do a joust whenever they can. There's always kind of been a joust here, a joust there. There's Knights Kingdom 1 had a joust. Knights Kingdom 2 had a lot of jousts.
Fantasy Era had a joust.
It was okay. The joust was a little bit. It was just the wall and the 2 knights. And that was it. But there's always some kind of joust. I'd love to see a new one.
We're due for a joust.
We need
We're due for a
new
joust
one.
and a chess set and all castle. Bring all the castle back.
Yep.
Bring a troll warship back. So.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Bring the fantasy era back.
So many great
Yeah, fun
themes.
stuff.
A great set. And I this is one that I acquired here at the store when it came in
Nice.
with the
Yeah.
box. And I'm like, okay, Chris, make me an offer. And he made me an offer I
Must
couldn't
have.
refuse, and I
Yeah.
got it. So
Yeah.
he gave me, I got a good deal on it because, yeah. But, no, great set. Steven, what's your
Yeah.
final set you want to bring up
One.
here?
My last set.
I think it's sitting in front of us
It's
here.
sitting in front. I want to get the number right.
Which one?
This is set number 10, 30, and 5. 10305. It has 22 minifigures and 4,500 parts. It is the Lion Knights Castle, 90th anniversary. Pretty special moment for Lego. Pretty special set because this thing is I think this is the best Lego castle they've ever done. And that's saying something. That's really saying something.
By design.
By design, by part usage, by the types of things that the techniques that they used. And I know because no other Lego set, I kid you not, no other Lego set that I've ever built, ever, has made me question my own skill than this thing. I'm like, okay, I need to up my game right now. Like, I went and I built my Black Falcon's Fortress right after this thing because I'm like, this is better than I would have chosen to do it. Like, so many features, so many little insider or Easter eggs, insider bits, so many amazing shields, so many amazing minifigures, 22 minifigures. Tons of, like, you even have the Falcons in there too, super iconic Forestmen lines, all of the best.
2 new Bardings.
2 new Bardings,
Nice,
a brand new cape, some new flags that haven't been around since 40 years now, I guess.
Yeah, fabric flags.
Yeah, fabric flags. Great parts for leaves. Magisto's a little boring, but other than that, our Wizard's a little bit boring. Like, there's a better one it exists, but they didn't bother to use the printed version. I don't know what that was. That was the only downside because, like, just the bridge alone, this rotating bridge alone, the genius behind some of these techniques, and all the play features just bring this thing to a completely new height, a totally new level. They put a lot into this set, and it really shows. I love it to death. It was downright intimidating. I've warmed up to it now, but it's like nothing I've ever built as far as castle. And that's really saying something because there's been some phenomenal castles, but I think this one is the best castle that they've ever made. I think it stands alone as the best.
Yeah, and we built it on the Joy Building over
We
like a
built it on the
3-part
Joy
episode.
Building. That's right.
So very, very cool. And the great little hideaway features for the foresters and the dungeons.
Oh,
So
there's
super cool.
so many play features. And it opens up so
So
you can make
fun.
it big, you can make it small, you can build it with a companion. There's rooms for everywhere, and there's like all these little features like this. Oh, is it locked? I think it's locked. But yeah, the drawbridge, everything is just so fun. And it has a toilet. It has the bathroom.
Extra.
Like it has
So great.
that's where it's at. Yeah.
Super cool. Well, Alex, what do you think of this amazing set here?
I mean, this is incredible. This is the castle for sure. And I think through the years, this one is just going to continue to receive praise and be on the list for so many. So I'm so glad they did this one for the 90 years and such a great job with it. I love how with the newer ones, they've really made companion ones. And even some of the Bricklink designer program things. I know Sleepless Night did the Mountain Fortress, but one coming up is like a siege works to attack this thing.
Yes.
So I loved all the Lego community, Lego itself, really expanding Castle more and more through the years, and I think it really culminates to this, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah. Exactly. This is the Lion Knight's castle. What's the Black Falcon's castle going to look like? You
They
know,
made
like
some Bricklink ones, but I want to see an official release. Bricklink is
Maybe
fun,
someday.
but yeah, I want to see them go all the way.
I love that little dining hall with the shields. You got the
Yes.
micro yellow castle featured inside there.
And the water wheel
Great
turning the
throwback.
water mill, the grain mill this time, not a blacksmith hammer. So that's an interesting thing to see that.
That's amazing.
It's just amazing.
Super cool. Yeah, fabulous set. Great to build. Glad we have one. I think we could probably stand to have another one at some point.
For parts, at
we'll see.
least. Yeah.
But such a great set. It's great to have so many shields, prints brought to life and now accessible for people to collect. The bardings are amazing. The figures are amazing. So yeah, just phenomenal. So glad that Castle has at least returned in a couple of large collectible
That's true.
sets.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, anything else we need to cover? I think that really is the definitive list of amazing castle sets. What do you guys think? So,
Well, we have several jousts to do now. So.
Yep.
exactly.
Get our
Black
head
Falcons
armor.
versus Lions, yeah.
For sure, exactly. Well, yeah, thank you guys for your expertise and your experiences, sharing those life experiences and the appreciation for castle sets throughout all the years of Lego Castle. Really, thanks guys for joining me. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching this whole video. Hope you enjoyed our little nostalgic trip through the Nottingham Forest and the castle world.
The best theme.
The best, arguably one of the best themes. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know which of these castle sets is your favorite.
Yeah.
Which one are you most wanting to get? Is it the giant chess? Let us know. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Don't tell Mark, but this is my favorite castle set.